Okay, I had to play that song because, well, it's Thursday on 7LGBTs, and this week's topic is about coming out. I really like this topic because I can pretty much relate and identify to it a lot. And it's a good thing to know about coming out and how to and advice and stuff like that. If you are in fact gay, pretty sure that's the only time you should know about it. But yeah. Well, you guys know my coming out story. It was one of the first videos I made. Basically, it was last March 13th. It'll be actually in March, it'll be a year since I've come out. But I came out to my parents and my family, and they're accepting of me, which is good. And I think it was the best decision I've ever made. But it's really important, I think, in my opinion, it's important to come out to your family, number one, most important, and your friends, too. Because if you're with somebody, like, really, like, if you have a close-knit bond with somebody and they don't know the fact that you're gay or even about anything about your sexuality, I just think it's kind of like you're hiding something. And like all these years of me like being a lesbian and not being able to talk to my mom about anything, or, you know, I can't go to my sister for advice about, I don't know, a girlfriend that I have. Like, it's really difficult, and it's hard to keep that a secret from people that you love. Because you can't be like, oh yeah, me and Sally are dating now, and we're having this problem. Like, it's really good to come out. And I have great advice on it, and if you are coming out, you can ask me anything, and I will be here to help you. I actually got this anon question today, which I was like, what a coinky dink, I'm talking about coming out today. So this is what the anon said. It says, I want to come out to my parents, but I can't because they are totally against gay people, and I'm scared that if I come out, they might not want anything to do with me. Do you have any advice for what I should do? Yes, I do. I mean, coming out, it's not an easy thing. Honestly, it was probably one of the hardest things I've done. It's difficult. Like, you really, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place for everything, but there's really a time and a place for something as big as this. I thought my parents were totally against gay people. Not totally against, but they were a little iffy because we're Catholic, and it's kind of like against the rules. And, I mean, it's really hard to just come out and say something like that. Just, like, sit down and be like, so I like the same sex as me. Like, it's really difficult. Now, if you honestly think that your parents are totally against them, you need to sit down and have a conversation about that with them. Say, hey, look, it's making me feel uncomfortable that you have all these, like, radical ideas about people of, like, either a different sexuality or a different race even. And you should talk about it with them because it's always good to communicate with your parents. Like having your parents be your best friend is probably the most awesomest thing in the world, because you can get away with anything. You can just, you have a good relationship and you have a good feeling when you do stuff. Now, if you think that your parents are totally against gay people, I think once you tell them, they'll have a different view on it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they won't. It's really sad when I hear a story about somebody coming out to their parents and their parents totally just disown them, or like they didn't even want anything to do with them after that. I think that's a terrible thing. And honestly, for me, I've never experienced that. My parents were very, I mean, it took them time, but now, since it's been almost a year, they've been okay with it. And they've even supported me, met my girlfriends. I've had sleepovers here with my girlfriends, like, but it's about communication. You definitely have to tell them, because it's just better that way. But here's what I did. Plan out what you're going to say before you say it. Because what Caitlin said yesterday was that she wrote a letter to her mom, and that's one of the best ways you can do it, because you can get out everything that you want to say by writing it down, and you won't be scared if you say something you didn't want to, or, you know, and it's just better when somebody reads it. That's a good option. But what I did was plan out what I said. I literally took out a piece of paper and wrote down the bullet points of what I wanted to talk about, so I could collect my thoughts, and I even practiced. I told my brother before I came out to the rest of my family, because I knew he could help me with it. It's good to have a moral backup supporter. It's good to have a counselor maybe, or somebody like an older adult you can trust to be there for you when you come out, so you have somebody there to back you up. Because I was terrified. Oh my God, I was so scared that day. And having my brother there felt really, like, it made me feel better. But write down what you're going to say. Talk about how things make you feel around the house, how you can't even tell your parents anything about, you know, your relationships. Even when, like, let's say you break up with your girlfriend, you're, like, really hurt about it. You want somebody there to talk to you instead of, you know, like, your best friend or something. So that's good to have them there. But honestly, it's something you need to do, because there's no way you can get around it. Because what are you going to do when you want to marry that person that you love, like, for a really long time? Like, you want your parents to be there, and you can't just spring it on them, like, hey, I'm gay, so we're getting married, here's the invite. Like, you really have to plan out your life, so figure out what you're going to say before you say it. And I promise you, it'll be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. And this video is really long. It's like 7 minutes. I talk for a really long time. Jeez. Okay. So if you have any other advice, come to me. I'm really good with it. I can help you. And for that anon that sent me, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope, really hope, that your parents accept you. And there is a fly. I really hope that everything goes well and smoothly, just like me. And I promise you, there's always somebody out there for you. From my rainbow to yours. I love saying that. Sign off everything with that. Okay, so I'll see you guys next Thursday. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to singing this song now. And I just